Hello everyone, welcome back to Football Fan Stuff TV. Manchester United fans clash with police outside Old Trafford after hundreds of protesters broke into stadium, smashing equipment and climbing on goals, to demand Glazers sell the club, leading to kick-off being delayed with players barricaded in hotel. Hundreds of Manchester United supporters stormed the pitch at Old Trafford ahead of the game against Liverpool in protest at the club's American owners, the Glazer family. It came after many more blockaded the entrance to the Lowry Hotel where the United players and staff are staying. This afternoon's Premier League fixture, set to kick off at 4:30 p.m., will be delayed. Representatives from the two teams and the Premier League are set to convene and discuss the situation at 4 p.m. Both teams have been held back at their team hotel by Greater Manchester Police, while match referee Michael Oliver was also delayed in accessing the ground. Officials at Old Trafford convened an emergency meeting to determine whether any COVID-19 protocols had been breached following the stadium invasion. Fans were not due to be in attendance at the game. There were clashes as fans tried to break police lines outside, with officers drawing batons to keep the crowds back and bottles and other projectiles thrown. A line of riot police, backed by horses, pushed the crowds back from the area where the players will enter the stadium. Just after what should have been the scheduled kick-off time, police succeeded in pushing back the crowds and clearing the Old Trafford forecourt. Earlier, a section of the crowd shouted, "We want Glazers out," and "United, United," as they ran onto the pitch. Outside the Lowry, others chanted, "We decide when you play." One protester was filmed picking up a camera tripod from a pitchside media position inside the stadium and hurling it onto the pitch. Others tried to get down the tunnel, while another took a corner flag and some swung from the crossbar of one of the goals. Many were clutching beer bottles. Later, television footage from inside the ground showed a smaller number of fans still inside the stadium. Some clambered over the seating to taunt stewards before police moved in. Thousands had assembled at an organized protest outside Old Trafford against the Glazer family and their efforts to sign United up to the European Super League. United were one of 6 Premier League clubs who initially signed up to the doomed Super League project last month. They all withdrew 48 hours later following a furious backlash from the wider football community. Joel Glazer made an apology to supporters for signing up to the doomed Super League project, but many United fans carried placards at the protest reading, "Apology not accepted." The departure of the team bus on the short journey from the Lowry Hotel in central Manchester to Old Trafford was delayed as police tried to force back the crowds and restore order. A ring of riot police surrounded the steps leading up to the hotel entrance to allow the players to board the team coach safely, but the United squad remained at the hotel an hour before kick-off. Players were spotted looking out of windows on the 3rd and 4th floors of the hotel as they awaited news as to whether the match would go ahead as planned. Smoke bombs were set off both outside the Lowry and outside Old Trafford. Dozens of police in riot gear lined up to keep protesters at a safe distance from the entrance to the upmarket hotel. At Old Trafford, it is believed those who gained access to the ground did so via the Munich tunnel, after pushing down barriers, despite the attempts of security guards to prevent that happening. Once inside, they kicked footballs laid out for the pre-match warm-ups. Many of the fans wore green and gold scarves, the colours of Newton Heath, the predecessor of Man United, which have become emblematic of the anti-Glazer movement. But the crowd did quickly disperse back outside the stadium after a few minutes at around 2:20 p.m., just over 2 hours before kick-off. However, TV footage did later show a small pocket of protesters still in the stands in a corner of the stadium an hour later. Some were filmed climbing over seats to goad security personnel in one corner of the stadium before police managed to move the group out through the tunnel area by the Stretford end. The match carries great significance to the Premier League title race as Manchester City will be confirmed as champions if Liverpool beat United. Speaking on Sky Sports, former Liverpool star Jamie Carragher said, "The feeling of Manchester United and Arsenal fans towards their owners was a lot bigger than the Super League. I think that's why they've protested so much. This is not just about the Super League for Manchester United, this goes back 10 or 15 years ago when they were taking money out of the bank and charging season ticket holders if they didn't want to go to a Carling Cup game, or maybe a Europa League game, and just taking money off fans. I totally get the frustration of Manchester United fans, and Arsenal fans. I think they're in a similar situation with their owners. Every football fan in some way should stand with them. We don't want to see games called off, No one wants to see that, but supporters are frustrated with the ownership of their own clubs. What we spoke about with the Super League, and supporters stopping that, we saw the scenes at Chelsea as well. Supporters coming together is powerful. Me, even as a Liverpool fan, being part of those 6 clubs that tried to move away, I cannot criticize Manchester United fans for how they've gone about things. Basically, an ownership running their club for the last 15 years has had no thought whatsoever for them. They do spend a lot of money, but I go back to what they did with the season tickets and the state of the club now compared to when they first came in. If you like this channel, don't forget to subscribe and share. Thanks for watching and see you on the next videos.